Welcome, man. Welcome, man. I do appreciate y'all waiting. I actually was trying to catch up on Baron. Man, he dropped some crazy stuff. I don't know if y'all been tapping into his episodes, but that was part of the biggest or the main reason on me being 10 minutes late. It was getting crazy. I literally was like, bro, I cannot turn this off right now. I can't. He was going crazy. But still got to provide, still got to talk, still got to yap. We're gonna have to catch up on Baron later, but we're able to talk about some of the things that he revealed in his show that I know of so far. But it's gonna get crazy. I definitely appreciate y'all for joining in. We got a lot to talk about tonight. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button. I definitely appreciate all the support. I know everybody been talking about Candace is off this week, so everybody's feeling bored. Hopefully I can fulfill that need of entertainment. And yeah, so let's get straight to it though. We got quite a bit to talk about, and it's gonna kind of be, I wouldn't necessarily say all over the place, but I have to add Baron's segment into this video, into this live, because I did not expect Baron to go as crazy as he did. I'm not gonna lie. And he did. So there's no way I can just not talk about what Baron talked about. It was crazy. But we got quite a bit to cover though. We got, the main event, I would say, is the Trump shenanigans that went down, since Easter, to be honest. And what has kind of happened leading up into tonight with this ceasefire a little bit, just because it has been all over the place. And that's not really something that we should ignore. It has been very crazy since, for a long time, but definitely since Sunday. So we'll talk about that and all the different reactions that's been happening around the nation around Trump. And then I think we should just jump straight into some of the things that Baron talked about and discovered tonight. So forgive me if I am not really all over the place as far as talking, but as far as pulling up the receipts, forgive me for that, because I will need to pull up the receipts to make sure y'all can see what has been revealed. Not even, I think Baron just got off. So all of this is very fresh, very fresh. So forgive me for trying to pull up some of these receipts on the fly. That way I could fill y'all in live time, because I wasn't even able to finish the episode. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into some of this Trump stuff. What's going on? I definitely appreciate y'all for joining. I really do. I appreciate y'all for joining. I hope y'all enjoyed the intro. That was new. I worked on that today. I'm trying to, invest more and more into all of this stuff, and I truly am enjoying it. Trying to get my setup as far as, all of this that you see is kind of different. I've been working with what I can at the moment, but I am in the process of, I live in a townhome, right? So I'm in the process of moving in a townhome that's across the street that's bigger, fortunately. So get to move into a new townhome that has an entire office for myself. Right now, this is kind of like a loft situation. So that's why I'm kind of in a living, not really a living area, but you know how a loft looks like. So I'm kind of in a loft area. In the new spot, I have an entire room. So you already know, man cave vibes. I got my own little setup. I get to have a little bit more space. I get to have what I want behind me, because I got a lot of things to hang up, put up. So it'll look more so like a studio within these next couple move in about a month and some change. So just quick update, that way y'all can know what's going on. Move in about a month and some change into the new spot. So it'll be a new background, knew everything. Like I said, it's going to be a complete office just for me. It's April now. That will be in May. And then in July, I have another son that will be born around that time, late July, due dates like late July. Um, so yeah, I gotta go crazy. We gotta talk a lot while I can, because when that comes around, gotta adjust again and you know, do all of the newborn activities for a while. And then so I'll probably be in and out late July, early August. I'll be in and out for a while because I got to figure out the whole new schedule. For the ones that know, you know how that go. Um, yeah, so that's the update. Just wanted to let everybody know. Now, jumping straight into it with Trump today, before we get into all the Barron stuff. Trump released quite an Easter message for the ones that did not see it. Let me pull it up really quick. Very disappointing in my opinion. I think waking up on Easter morning, I was definitely planning on just seeing nothing but, a great spirited type day, online. Obviously, we have a lot of things going on in the world, but, that's just a day that should be just pushing straight positivity across the board. Trump decided to wake up and spread a lot of hate. So um it's it definitely rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not gonna lie. I've been pretty honest about everything. I did not vote in the last election because I did not feel like the Trump that's going on right now in office, I kind of seen it coming in a way. So I didn't vote in the last election because I couldn't vote for Trump. I just did not see it. I didn't feel like he deserved it from me. I didn't vote for Kamala because I feel like she didn't deserve a vote out of me. So I didn't vote at all. So I know some people are like, you don't deserve an opinion on anything just because you didn't vote. I don't really believe in that. As long as I'm an American citizen, I can put an opinion on absolutely anything I want to. And if neither candidate deserved my vote or, said anything that interests me and I felt like they were in my best interest, then I deserve to not vote. That's not my fault. That's their fault. So I didn't. And what's going on right now with Trump is uh it's crazy. It's not what a president should be doing. And so he put out a tweet on Easter Sunday, and I'm going to share what he said. Let's see, what's today? Yeah, here it is right here. All right, so on Sunday, woke up Sunday morning and saw this tweet / Truth Social post, whatever you want to call it. And he said Tuesday will be a power plant day, a bridge day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. Ooh, so again, this was Easter morning. That's when I saw it. And it's just not something you want to see from the man in charge. Not at all. It's not something you want to see from the man in charge. You want to see somebody that's just very professional, that's not really pushing violence, anything like that. Not that they don't, not that we want somebody to be completely fake, because we know Trump is very transparent. He's himself. He does not hold his tongue. And sometimes that can be good. But in this situation, it's a time and place, right? It's Easter. It's Easter. This is not something people want to wake up to see on Easter. And on top of that, seeing the context in what he's talking about, saying it will be a power plant day. He's talking about destroying power plants. He's talking about destroying bridge day. That's what he's saying without actually saying it. Where it is. Oh, I'm tripping. Tuesday will be power plant day, bridge day, all wrapped up in one. AKA, we're blowing up the power plant, we're blowing up the bridge, all in one in Iran. Then on top of that, me personally, I do my best to not cuss. I don't really think people hear it on any video or platform that I use. I do not use any type of words. That's just me. But the F word particular, I don't think should be, the president should be using on these type of platforms. But doing stuff like this, calling them names, and then also mocking their religion, right? You can believe in whatever you want to believe in, but at the end of the day, the principle of religion is kind of the same. I'm not, Muslim and all of that stuff, Christian. What I am saying is that no matter what the religion is, everybody kind of acknowledges that there is a higher authority that you obey and report to. So it's not Trump claims that I don't know what he claims. I've heard him say he was a Christian before, but this is not something that you would do, which is mock their God while at the same time saying that you're going to destroy all of them. And so that was definitely something that rubbed me the wrong way. That's not the only thing. He's done a couple of different things since then as well. But I just couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe seeing, waking up on Easter morning, knowing that it's going to be a beautiful day because everything that surrounds Easter. And then here we are dealing with a crazy maniac in office that chooses violence on Easter Sunday. And that wasn't the only thing. So Sunday goes by. Apparently they come across some type of negotiation where they're trying to figure something out. The Strait of Hormuz is closed and stuff. And I know some of this stuff is very boring to a lot of people, but I have to, we got to talk about it just really quick before we get into some more good stuff as well. So then that goes by, and I believe it was either this morning or last night, we see another post from President Trump. Or should I just say, I can't stand kind of saying that sometimes, but we see another post from Trump, and he says, my whole setup is acting weird tonight. Here we go. I got to switch my monitors back around. Trump says a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight, one of the most important moments in a long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. And it was, man, when I seen this is the video I made today on TikTok. It really did bother me, just because how many times these people continue to shift the goalposts without just admitting what you really want. It's never been about regime change. It's never been about anything, right? They talk about the nukes. The nukes they took out last summer. So it was never about that. It was never about a regime change. They're revealing their hand. The more they talk, the more they reveal. Same thing in this Tyler Robinson case that we're about to get to. But that's what Donald Trump is doing. The more they piss him off with this closing the Strait of Hormuz, which, by the way, is his fault because he started the bombing. The more they piss him off, the more he reveals what his true intentions are. And it's never been about the liberation of Iranian people. It's never been about that. They use that as some type of, I don't know, justification for what they're doing. Oh, we're trying to free the Iranian people. Okay, so what is this? What is this? A whole civilization will die tonight. That's not saying the regime leaders. A whole civilization will die tonight and never to be brought back again. And there were so many people on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that was justifying what was going on. Um, that are, these people that follow Trump blindly. It's kind of scary when you follow anybody blindly, right? Human being. But these people that follow Trump blindly, and no matter what he say, they justify it. And they say, oh, it's a negotiation tactic. It's this, it's that. When at the end of the day, this is straight narcissistic tendencies right here. He can't get what he wants. He can't. That's what's happening right now. He can't get what he wants. So instead, he lacks empathy on everybody. He puts it on everybody to eventually put everybody in such a crazy situation, all for him. This is like typical type A narcissist, which is Donald J. Trump. I can't get what I want, so I'm going to put everybody else at risk, and hopefully I can get what I want out of that. You want to open up the Strait of Hormuz? Okay, I'm going to kill your entire country. Say I'm lying. And if he does it, he's already an evil person for threatening it. That's the point. But people are saying, okay, the pro-Trumpers, the people who follow Trump blindly, they said if he's damned if you do, he's damned if you don't. If he doesn't do it, he's a bluffer. If he does do it, he's evil. He did that to himself. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? That's exactly, you did that to yourself. You're the one that chose to bring in the civilians and say, if you don't give me what I want, I'm gonna kill everybody. That is bizarre to me. This was one of the craziest posts that I've ever seen in my life by a sitting president in my life. I don't know how old everybody is in my life. Like, how do these people were cheering that United States was coming to save the day? Look at them. They're freeing us from these terrorists, this terrorist group, the regime, whatever. They're freeing us. These people were cheering at one point. Just for the country that you thought was coming to save you, puts up a tweet and say, I'll kill all of y'all right now. If your leaders don't give me what I want, I will obliterate all y'all. And what a lot of people fail to realize is that this falls on to us as well as the people. I tell my wife all the time, I'm into the politics. I like to know what's going on. That's just me. But I feel like it's important to know what's going on. We can go outside right now and come across somebody that's from Iran or Muslim, whatever it is. And this is what they'll see. This is what they associate an American with. This is what they'll associate us with. Because they think we back this. We're from there. So like, this is what I'm saying. He's developing. Yes, they chant death to America and stuff like that. But at the same time, why? They tend to leave that part out. Why are they chanting death to America? But this does nothing but create conflict amongst us as well. What if somebody that's, it's already happened. I believe in Texas was the state where, the guy was Muslim or something. And he, went to the club and, you can use your imagination on what happened from there. But that's what will happen. Hopefully not, but unfortunately, it could happen in more than just that situation. It could happen way more in the future if this continues. Trump threatens to take out entire civilizations. That directly affects the people. So when the pro-Trumpers, whoever you are that may be listening, watching, that follow Trump blindly, that always say, oh, he got a plan. He's playing chess. He's doing this. He's doing that. Bro, this is not about the liberation of their people. If you blow up their power plant, that takes away power from the civilians, right? So that means you're affecting the civilians. If you blow up the bridge, which they use to as a form of transportation to get from point A to point B, that means you're affecting the civilians. So for anybody that continues to advocate for Trump, after because I've seen it, I've heard it and seen it. I've had some people comment and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. This is way over my head. For anybody that still advocates for this foolishness, like you really have an issue. You have a genuine problem. You should never agree with anybody 100% of the time. Never. But anybody that's agreeing with this right here is just straight foolishness. And does this not sound familiar? For anybody that has paid attention to the Israel, I know this app over here does not like that word, but has anybody been paying attention to the Israel and Palestine situation back then when it was going on? Right? They used buzzwords, and that's what's going on right now. If you watch the news today, they talked about the Iranian people using their kids and women as human shields. Who used that before? Who used that same line before to justify what happened? I'll try to use a couple of different code words. I can't say too much. Hamas, they're under the hospitals. Hamas are using kids as human shields. Like, it's the same buzzwords, it's the same propaganda. That's what the news said today. I saw it in live time when I was watching the news. And in my opinion, and I'm open to being wrong, in my opinion, I saw the Iranian people holding hands together, lifting their arms up and just protecting their country. Just saying, hey, don't bomb our plant, please. That power belongs to us. That fuels my house. That's what it looked like to me. But the news said, look at all of these people that the terrorist regime forced to be out here, and they forced babies and kids and women to what do they call it? Like a human, I don't know, like a human blockade to not blow up the power plants. And I was like, bro, look at what's going on right now. This is crazy. And it was kind of scary watching it in live time because that's exactly what happened in the whole Palestine-Israel conflict. They started saying stuff like that. Human shields. They're evil. They're trying to portray this whole image as if these people are straight slums, like from the slums, to justify a certain action that's about to happen. So to me personally, when this first went down and they started talking like that, I thought for sure it was going to go down tonight, because these are the things they used in the other war as a justification to obliterate everybody. However, thankfully, maybe a ceasefire, a ceasefire deal came about. I don't even want to read the whole Trump post because I'm really done talking about Trump. A ceasefire deal happened where, I guess they agreed to cease for 2 weeks, I believe. And I think it said Iran fully controls the Strait of Hormuz. They'll allow, the U.S. to use it, whatever the case may be. The problem is what they fail to realize. And again, a lot of people are like, man, you over your head. It's a really simple thing. I'm not saying being the president of the United States is simple. I'm sure it's complicated. I'm sure I don't know 70 to 80% of the job. I'm not trying to portray as this intelligent human being that could run for president one day. However, I am great at pattern recognition. And I know when things are about to happen due to what has happened before. And when I seen that ceasefire, I feel like everybody should have great pattern recognition with this situation. When I seen that ceasefire deal take place and what was supposed to happen tonight didn't happen, I said, "Oh, Israel, that country, that blue and white country, is going to bomb anyway." We've heard this before. Why are we sitting here acting oblivious? The blue and white country is going to do what they do anyway. Because the ceasefire is not between that country and Iran. It's between us and Iran. Even if it was with the blue and white country and Iran, we already know what the blue and white country gonna do. They gonna do it anyway. And then it's gonna be, oh, Iran violated the ceasefire, and they're gonna start pointing blame. Ceasefire over. We've seen this already for years. And I haven't really paid attention to X too much tonight because I've been watching Baron, which is what we're about to get into in a little bit. But apparently the ceasefire was already broken. I've seen a couple different clips. I can't really verify it or not, but I've seen a couple different clips. I've seen Jesse Waters, who's a Fox News source. So I'll probably take his word, very serious. Apparently Iran, already launched missiles at the blue and white country. So the ceasefire, I think, is about to end very fast, which that's what we're talking about right now. As soon as it happened, I put out a tweet and said, we know how this is going to go. Ceasefire is going to be over in a couple of days. And somehow Trump is going to come out and say, we had to defend ourselves because this, that, and the third, and whatever BS he be talking about. So I'm not really surprised. I might be surprised that we haven't even gone to sleep and woke up without the ceasefire being broken. But, nonetheless, I'm not surprised in general, though. So it's very crazy. I don't really know what the goal is for Trump. I just know that he is I don't know, man. He's digging himself a hole. He's digging himself a hole. I've seen a lot of people that were MAGA. I've seen a lot of people that, just supported Trump in general, completely turn their back on him and say, this dude has lost his mind. So I don't know where this is going. He's kicking out people that support him, and then he's calling them crazy. I've seen Trump say some crazy stuff about Tucker Carlson today. Some of Trump's supporters now that are pretty much yes men and women, they're going at former Trump supporters. And some of these people that are critical of Trump now that are speaking out, such as Joe Kent, Tucker Carlson, I feel like it was going to be Charlie Kirk as well, Candace Owens, these people, especially Joe Kent is literally on record saying, I still support Trump. Trump is the person that can get this done and finish. He's a great negotiator. He can get the job done. Joe Kent is still giving Trump props. He has never disrespected Trump, but for some reason, Trump and his minions are going after him. I seen y'all didn't warn me about Laura Loomer. Oh my gosh, this woman is a nutcase. Laura Loomer, I'm gonna just show y'all. I have no words until I show y'all. Joe Kent puts out a video, and he pretty much talks about the same thing we were just talking about, as far as this ceasefire means nothing. You have to get Israel, the blue and white country, under control, or else they're just going to do whatever they want to do anyway. Joe Kent made a 2-minute and 44-second video about that, saying this is cool, but it doesn't really mean anything because you got to get the blue and white country under control. If you can't get them under control, this means nothing. They're going to bomb them anyway. That's all Joe Kent was saying. Nothing crazy. Didn't disrespect Trump. Never disrespects Trump. And Laura Loomer, my Lord, I wasn't warned about this lady. This lady is crazy. Laura Loomer decides to, she's pissed. When the ceasefire first happened, she was pissed. If you just go down her X tweets, whatever you want to call them, you can see that she was hoping for Iran to just be completely obliterated tonight. She was all for it. And so was the blue and white country. Their media, their news media outlets, they had a countdown like it was New Year's Eve on the bottom of the screen, counting down the hours. Those people are different. But Laura Loomer sees she saw Joe Kent's video about saying we need to contain the blue and white country or else nothing will really happen. And she decides to say something crazy. I'm gonna just share it because this was beyond me. She decides to share this tweet right here about Joe Kent. She says, how about we restrain the Islamic terrorists, the ones who blew up your wife, the ones who blew your wife up. How come you simp for the people who killed your wife in the name of Islam? Traitor to your country and a traitor to your wife. Shameful. For the ones that don't know, Joe Kent, 20-year vet, served on 11 different tours. He quit a couple weeks ago because he said he can no longer support Trump in this Iran war. His wife also served, and she died by a suicide bomber back in the war with when we were in Iraq, by like the 9/11 situation. His wife died. They had 2 kids together. And he had to tell her father. He had to come home and tell his kids, similar things that Miss Shalami did, right? That everybody gave grace to, and felt so bad because she said, Daddy's in heaven trying to come up with money with Jesus to afford your blueberry budget, right? Everybody thought that was so sweet. Don't attack her for anything because she's a widow. Well, here's a widower that lost his wife serving. His wife served. And you have Laura Loomer, who's a Trump supporter. And she's on here reminding him that the Islamic terrorists, the ones who blew your wife up. She's crazy. So, we can dissect her stuff all day, but we also got to remember Trump is the person who enables this behavior. Trump was the one that went on national television and told everybody that Joe Kent was weak. I think the words were he was weak at security or like weak at his job or something like that. But still, using the term weak when this is somebody that served in the military for you, as in for American citizens, for everybody, for 20 plus years, weak should not come out your mouth, especially when he served on 11 tours. If y'all need to go watch Joe Kent videos, Joe Kent is a real gangster. This is somebody that is very familiar with being like that and handling his missions. This is not somebody to play with. And you got somebody like Trump. That's what I'm saying. These people that just got money be thinking they're so powerful when these people are the weakest individuals ever. That's why they have to do all of these weird things to feel good about themselves. This is like the lame kid in high school becoming a cop because he didn't have all this power when he was in school. He was the lame one, right? He was getting taken advantage of, whatever the situation was. But when he became a cop, now I'm big dog. You remember me? This, that, and the third. That's what these politicians be doing. They get a little money. They have a little seat in the right places, in the White House, in the government in general. And they think because of that, I could say anything. I'm the tough guy. When in reality, Joe Kent's the tough guy. But Trump also got up there and said he clowned Joe Kent for remarrying so fast. Joe Kent didn't remarry until 4.5 years later. And Trump used that as one of his little disrespectful bullets that he had about Joe Kent, and said, I felt bad for the guy. He lost his wife and he remarried fairly quickly, though. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. And he made it seem like Joe Kent only got the job because he felt bad for Joe Kent, when he actually endorsed Joe Kent twice when Joe Kent was running for Congress. Trump did. He endorsed Joe Kent twice. So he believed in Joe Kent twice, and he hired Joe Kent. So clearly he thought very highly of Joe Kent until Joe Kent disagreed with Trump. But that just goes to show you like the power structure of everything, because somebody like Joe Kent gets betrayed by Donald Trump. Donald Trump thinks he's powerful, but he gets controlled by the blue and white country. These people aren't powerful. They think they are. But that was one of the sickest things that I saw. I keep on saying sick things that I see throughout the day, but to be honest, it's quite a few. So I really don't know which one takes it. But Laura Loomer saying that about Joe Kent was actually insane. Now I do want to shift gears a little bit, because we have to get some crazy, insane news that Baron Coleman released tonight on his podcast. That, I mean, we talk about it all the time, how like when information like this drops, it blows the case wide open. It changes the entire, case. And I want to truly believe that. But every day that goes by when there's literal evidence online to show that these people should be questioned, or the evidence online should be used in this trial, and when the authorities, when the government, when all of these people just brush over it and just keep it pushing, I do have a part of me that says like, bro, what's the point? The government's gonna get away with this with Charlie Kirk. You know it. So don't get too upset about what's going on, because I'll be honest with y'all, there are days where I'm just sitting back like, what's happening? Somebody asked me in the comment section on a video on YouTube and said, if it's proven that there's foreign involvement in Charlie Kirk's murder, or Charlie Kirk's assassination, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to get banned on TikTok. If foreign involvement is proven to be, true in Charlie Kirk's assassination, what should happen? And that's a great question. And if you want my complete honest answer, that I feel like is where war is justified, when it's for your own people. That's when you want to, okay, cool, y'all want to do that. It's time for war. Now I'm going to spend $20 billion to go after your country, or whatever the situation is, which we all know it wouldn't happen due to who the foreign entity may possibly be, which we know. But that is when war, that conversation should be talked about, because a foreign entity took out one of our own. That's a terrorist attack. That's when I would expect Donald Trump to get on Truth Social and talk like he big dog. That's when you should be doing it. Have big balls then. He don't ever want to do nothing for anything else. But that's when you should be going online and saying, whatever country has something to do with Charlie Kirk, if proven, like, I don't want to say no names and get banned or anything, but if a certain country is proven to be involved in Charlie Kirk's murder, and it could be truly pinned on them, then that is when you truly go after that war conversation. And you say, nah, it's war. You just went after one of my peoples, and somebody that's high up in the government. One of the biggest, I don't want to call him activists, but conservative voices in our generation, and you took him out in front of kids. You took him out in front of the world because the kids that were there shared the video. So it's war. That's what should happen. But I don't know. I try to stay optimistic about it and hope that we have a real government one day that's going to be able to see what's going on and hopefully ask people questions, bring them in, interrogate them, hopefully the defense is using some of this, the social media investigators, using some of it to, as part of the case. I don't know, but I just know social media has solved Charlie Kirk's assassination more than anybody else, as far as the government, feds, whatever. Social media has been on top of it more than anybody else. But Baron Coleman dropped some crazy information today, and we're gonna probably have to watch a little bit of Baron Coleman's video because I don't want to misquote anything, get anything wrong, because this is very fresh. So I also don't want to leave out any details because I just watched it. But Tyler Robinson, just to lay it out for everybody, Tyler Robinson was, supposedly he turned himself in around 9:30 p.m. on 9/11. That's where the 33 hours come in, 33, 33, 33. And so they said he turned himself in around 9:30, 10 o'clock-ish on 9/11. And the sheriff that resigned last week or 2 weeks ago, he also came up with a story when Tyler Robinson turned himself in and said that he called Tyler Robinson's, whatever the affiliation was, that sheriff called Tyler Robinson's people, whatever, and they agreed that he was going to turn himself in. And he said he made that call around 8 o'clock-ish, and Barron proves it wrong. And but basically they somehow get to Tyler Robinson around that 9:30, 10 o'clock range. But Barron's going to reveal some crazy information. And I'm definitely going to take it from him. I'm gonna just allow him to show y'all. He brings up Tyler Robinson's arrest, or not arrest, I'm sorry, when he turned himself in. And there's timestamps on here that is very interesting on when he was Mirandized. And without further ado, I will let Baron Coleman take it away because he was going crazy tonight. Let me pull him up on the screen for y'all.
If only we could verify whether or not he made that call. Well, we can. And they have a transcript of this encounter. He never said, I'm never going to speak to you guys. Instead, he said, I don't want to speak without a lawyer. And that's a key distinction. One is, I will never talk to you, you dirty SOBs. The other is, I really want to seek my constitutional
I'm going to jump straight to it so that way y'all can see exactly what he's talking about.
right to have. Now, we all look powerful as a cop. So, Tyler,
So what you're looking at right now is Tyler Robinson sitting down with the cops, being Mirandized. But pay attention to the timestamps. Pay attention to what is said as well. Because remember, they said that Tyler Robinson refused to talk to the police. He refused to cooperate.
Before we begin, I'm just going to read you your rights. Okay, you have the right to remain silent. If you've ever watched a cop show based in America, you've seen this. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before advice, before we ask you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during your questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning begins. And if you decide to answer questions, now you can stop at any time, okay? So are you good? Are you good to proceed? I'd love to talk to you. Here's what he says. I'd like to speak with my legal counsel. I'm hoping for a fellow in Utah named Doug Terry. Okay. Told he's pretty good attorney here, but I think my folks are trying to get a hold of him, but I think his office is closed for the night. Closed for the night. Okay. But until I've had the opportunity to speak with someone, I'd like to remain silent. Now, let's just talk about the what first. Does this sound like the way it was reported? Is this consistent with what everyone reported, which is he's not cooperating?
And I don't want to play it too long. I'll jump straight to the point. I didn't know it was going to take this long. Again, I only saw this video, or I only saw his live once before I was even able to dissect it and understand or see the timestamps. So this right here that is highlighted, Tyler Robinson being Mirandized, this 6:25, I might have to blow it up a little bit more. This 6:25 p.m. number, where's my mouse right here? This 6:25 p.m., that is Tyler Robinson already in the precinct being Mirandized. They told us Tyler Robinson wasn't captured, or if I keep saying captured, because they didn't go out to go get him. He turned himself in. They said Tyler Robinson turned himself in around 9:30-ish p.m. He was already in the precinct and being Mirandized at 6:25 p.m. Now, the biggest thing that Barron was also trying to hit at is this was 9/11, right? So the big bang happened with Charlie on 9/10 at 12:23. This 6:25 p.m. was on 9/11. The cops of, the feds, whatever you want to call it, they came out the next morning on 9/12 and told us at about 7, 8 a.m., I think it was like 9 a.m. for Eastern time, that they got the guy. That was at 9 a.m. Eastern time on 9/12. So keep in mind, I'm not trying to confuse anybody. If they came out at 9 a.m. on 9/12 and said we got the guy, well, if the court documents say 6:25 he was Mirandized, how would it be 6:25 p.m. on 9/12? Because if you already had the guy as of 10 p.m. last night and he wasn't Mirandized until the next day at 6:25 p.m., then that means a guy that just committed the crime of the century is in a holding cell not being Mirandized. That's impossible. They would never do that. Anytime you do something like that, they try to make sure that they get you confessing the crime or whatever it could be on record. They wouldn't hold somebody that just committed a crime in jail for, what is that, 8 hours, 10 hours. They wouldn't do it. So Barron's conclusion, which makes sense, is that 6:25 p.m. is on 9/11, which means that they had Tyler Robinson in custody, Mirandizing him way before they told the public that they caught him. Matter of fact, I think at 7 p.m., they still said it was looking for him. So that is obviously a huge issue because, one, why did everybody say 33 hours, 33, 33, 33? This would have been 30 hours, by the way, 6:25 p.m. This would have been 30-ish hours. So why would they go around saying 33 hours? Everybody was saying 33 hours for whatever reason when the guy was already in custody. Then Barron also brings up so many different things. And one thing about why I love Barron so much is because if you don't believe one of his, I'm going to back this up with a fact. If you don't believe that first fact, he'll bring 3 more. And that's the best part about Barron. Barron is somebody that, like, I had that conversation with Lisa Knowles last week. Lisa Knowles does not want to talk to Barron. Lisa, I know you listen to the live sometimes. I promise you don't want no smoke with Barron. I don't even know why you beefing with Barron. I've never heard of anybody beefing with Barron. It makes no sense. But Barron is somebody that's like, okay, I'm going to bring a fact to the table. And if you disagree with it, I have 4 more waiting. And there's no way you can disagree with all 4. And that's what Barron did tonight. Because not only does Tyler Robinson, not only does he bring up these documents that show Tyler Robinson being Mirandized at 6:25 p.m. on 9/11, which completely shatters the FBI narrative, the Fed slop of him being, he turned himself in at 10 p.m., but we don't have the footage and all that stuff. He also shatters the original narrative that Tyler Robinson wasn't complying. Tyler Robinson won't cooperate. Blake Neff has said that plenty of times. He won't cooperate. He refused to talk. Well, you can see right here in these court documents, Tyler Robinson says at 6:26, I would like to speak with my legal counsel. I'm hoping for a fellow in Utah named Doug Terry. That's not refusing, or that's not cooperating. He's doing what everybody does, exercising his rights. I don't have to talk to you if I don't want to. I don't have to talk to you until a lawyer is present. I don't have to talk to you. But if y'all remember, that's all they continue to push. Tyler Robinson refused to talk. He refused to cooperate. They say it to this day. Again, Blake Neff just said that the other day. Tyler Robinson refused to cooperate. He confessed, which is what Barron is going to hit at again as well, or going to hit on next about his alleged confession. And then also,
for you before any
point that Barron brought up, which was, again, gotta love Barron because he catches everything. That's why, like, it's so great to listen to Barron and then listen to Candace, because Barron kind of has like that lawyer perspective because he's a former lawyer. And like, I put it on Twitter for him. Hopefully he'll see it one day. But I was like, even though Barron retired from his profession as being, a lawyer, he still uses his profession to this day. He still uses those skills to this day. And he probably didn't even expect to use it in this way. But his lawyer expertise is just going crazy throughout this case, because it leaves, the people that don't have that expertise, that skill, like myself, I'm not going to be able to dissect the court document and point out a million things. All I can do is just provide my commentary on what I might think. But Barron was in the field. He knows how it is. He knows what to look for. So it's cool to have him. And then it's cool to also have the Candace perspective, which is, y'all did my best friend dirty. And she kind of has that more relatable perspective to all of us. We all can feel that way. Barron has a unique perspective that is one of a kind. But he also spotted something else. If somebody didn't, if somebody out there disputed the fact that Tyler Robinson was in custody on 9/11 at 6:26, 6:25 p.m. So if you don't believe the fact that he was Mirandized, if you don't believe the fact that he said, I'm seeking legal counsel, so that proves that it's not like he wasn't cooperating. He was just exercising his rights. Barron also pointed out that at 6:26, Tyler Robinson said, he's pretty good attorney here, but I think my folks are trying to get a hold of him, but I think his office is closed for the night. That was key as well, because Barron highlights that if he said for the night, then that would mean 9/11, which is Thursday night. If it was Friday night, why would his parents, if Tyler Robinson turned himself in, right, with his dad or whatever these people want to say, if Tyler Robinson turned himself in on 9/11 at 9:10 p.m. at night, according to the Fed slop, why would his dad wait until 9:12 at 7 p.m. to call the lawyer? Why would he not be working all day long to call a lawyer? Why would he wait until 6:26, 7 p.m. on 9/12 to say his office is closed for the night. That would make the most sense for Tyler Robinson to be talking about 9/11, which is him turning himself in on 9/11 at whatever time, but he's sitting down talking to the cops at 6:26. And then Thursday, 9/11, he's saying the lawyer's office is closed. And he said for the night. If it was Friday, he may have said for the weekend. Again, why would a dad wait a full 12 hours while his son is locked up for the craziest crime of the century? Why would a dad wait 12 full hours to call your lawyer? So Barron brought up that as well. Then it gets even crazier. And yes, thank you, Mark. Barron also brought up how, I probably won't be able to articulate this great, but he basically said the defense team, they're not really able to outright talk about the timestamps of when Tyler Robinson was Mirandized. I think he said something about they aren't really able to bring it up to the judge and stuff like that. So he said this was actually a play on the defense to include these timestamps without even saying a word. So instead of them coming out and trying to, I guess, advocate that the times are wrong and the feds are slopping, he said that the defense team strategically put these timestamps in here to alert the world what was going on, almost like a cryptic message. So that's why they put 6:26, because Barron said that the defense team knew people like Barron, Candace, and others would pick up on this and realize, hold on, if he was Mirandized at 6:26, there's no way that was on 9/12. So it had to have been 9/11, which would then mean that he was locked up when y'all told us that y'all were still looking for him. So that was an amazing breakdown. Now, again, Barron also brought up even more proof that the feds were lying. So he brings up it's a couple of things. I want to bring up something off the top of my head, because it was so many things. Oh my gosh, he brought so many points together to prove that Tyler Robinson was locked up on 9/11 at 6:25. It's insane. It wasn't just like one fact. It wasn't one thing he backed it up with. He backed it up with 5 or 6 different things that he cross-checked and cross-examined and said, okay, if I'm lying about this, then explain this. Okay, if I'm lying about that, then explain that. So he brought up how the retired sheriff, I want to play it for y'all really quick. Here you go. He brought up how the retired sheriff said he called Tyler Robinson's people around a certain time. And I just want y'all to listen to it.
What happened the night Tyler Robinson was initially taken? They're already taken into custody the night of September. He goes through what happened.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated at UVU in the afternoon. About a 33-hour manhunt ensued.
They're already planning the 33 hours. They're already planting the 33 hours. Remember, 33 hours would have been 9:30. 9:30, really 9:23. So they're already planting this 9:23 timeline in your head. Just listen.
And I was winding down for the evening. And at exactly 8:02 on the 11th, I received a call from a friend of mine who happens to be a retired detective that worked for me for many years. I didn't put that out there initially. I wanted to protect that individual as much as possible. Unfortunately, in the court documents, which is standard, he was referenced as a retired Washington County deputy. So I didn't put that out there. It was in the court docs. I was trying to protect even that information and just saying retired law enforcement in general. So I get a call from my friend, and his said, "Hey, how you doing?" Good. And it's not, he's been retired a few years. We'll call each other. It's not unusual for me to get a call from him or vice versa. And at 8:02, p.m. He calls me. Hey, I can tell his voice is kind of shaky. So my first thought is,
Now, again, I don't want to play too much because I would encourage everybody to go watch the entire live, which is what I have to actually finish. But I wanted to highlight one of the main things that he was bringing up in this video of this sheriff. Again, remember, he retired. This is the sheriff that retired a week or two ago for whatever reason, but he was the person that linked that's what he's telling the story on. He got the call from Tyler Robinson's people or somebody else, but he pretty much was tied to the Tyler Robinson turning himself in. He talks about he got a call at 8:02 p.m. from the great friend or whatever. The problem that Barron clocked and peeped is where he actually was at 8:02 p.m. And this is something that is so crazy because these people continue to tell on themselves, and this didn't even require like extra research as far as like, you know, a potential leak, get this information from here, there. This is just Barron and his team going through all the footage that we have available to the public, and they tied everything together. And yeah, his voice was absolutely shaky. That was one of the things I first noticed as well, is that I'm like, why is he over explaining, you know, why he can't tell us who the person is? You know, I feel like he was over explaining this confidential friend. And I'm like, okay, you said it the first time already. You don't have to keep telling us. You can't, you know, I can't share who this person is. It's very private. It's, you know, confidential. Okay, I heard you, bro. He said it like 3 or 4 times. So like I peeped that, you know, not day one, but when I first heard this video, whenever this came about, because I didn't even really pay attention to everything when everything first started going down. I was more so shook up of, in general, what happened to Charlie Kirk. But when I first seen this video, I was like, why is he over explaining himself? He doesn't have to, like, because now I'm interested in who your friend is. The more you talk about this confidential friend, the more I'm interested in him. So how about say it one time and just move on? But he's clearly nervous and shaking, and this is why, because he's lying about probably a lot of things in this, but the main thing is the time. So Barron peeped and clocked that he said at 8:02 I got a phone call. Problem is, he's on camera, or should I say in the room, at 8 p.m. during a press conference. So he did not get a call at 8:02 when he was in the room during a press conference at 8 p.m. And here is the press conference.
Place at 8 p.m.
And his team. It's great to have them on the ground with us tonight. We've had several briefings, and he's had an opportunity to walk the crime scene. We appreciate our local law enforcement here. Again, we have Mike Smith, who is the county sheriff here.
Oh, Sheriff Mike Smith, the county sheriff. He's here, and he looked right at him. I'd like to thank the local law enforcement here. Sheriff Mike Smith, who's here with us. Oops. So maybe 804 wasn't exactly the right number. I don't know, but that's Sheriff.
So Barron absolutely kills this entire episode that I haven't even finished yet. And the last thing I saw on my end, because I didn't finish it yet, was that the distance from where Sheriff Mike Smith was to Tyler Robinson would have taken, I believe, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it would have taken like 2 or 3 hours to get to Tyler Robinson because they had to go get him. And so Barron also highlighted that if it takes that long to go get Tyler Robinson, then he would have left before the press conference. He wouldn't even have been at the press conference to go get Tyler Robinson. And I mean, it's so crazy. And then on top of that, I think the last thing I saw actually was the confession, right? Tyler Robinson confessed on his Discord that it was some weird message that I've just never seen a 22-year-old talk like this before. Let me see if I can find it really quick. That'll be the last thing that I'll pull up. It was so many things in this episode with Barron. He talks about like the photoshopped pictures of Tyler Robinson going up the stairwell, and Cash Patel snitched on himself by saying enhanced photos. It was so weird.
A few weeks later, 2 News re-upped the request.
Let me see. I just want to find the Discord really quick for y'all. Here it is. All right, so pay attention to the timestamp in this confession that Tyler Robinson, allegedly Tyler Robinson put out. He says, "Hey guys, I have bad news for y'all. This is 9/11 at 8:57 p.m. Hey guys, I have bad news for y'all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." Dog, let me just finish it first. "It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a shared friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You all have been so amazing. Thank you all for everything." Listen, I'm an innocent civilian, right? I've never really done anything like that to get arrested and none of that stuff. Never been to jail before. I'm just wondering, for anybody out there that has committed a crime before or knows somebody, who just goes around telling people, "Hey, guess what I did yesterday?" Who goes around doing that? It's the same thing with the text messages with the boyfriend / girlfriend that's now back a boyfriend. I don't know. But he did the same thing with him. "Hey, my love, I did it. I killed Charlie." And it's like, why? It's because I was tired of. I'm like, who does that? Why are you talking about anything like that over the phone? So he was this brilliant mastermind to come up with this whole crazy plan, right? He came up with the crime of the century. He plotted the whole thing. The alleged shot he pulled off was immaculate. One shot, he got it right in the neck. But he's gonna leave there and just start texting people that he did it. That I don't know. I've always thought that was weird. I know everybody else did too, but I was just like, why do they think we stupid? "Hey, my love, I did it." What? Then you have this Discord chat of him saying, random guys, right? It's Discord. It's not like it's the furry boyfriend, right? He's telling a Discord chat, "Hey guys, I have bad news for y'all. It was me." Who would do that? I do know who would attempt to portray as Tyler Robinson, who would come up with this. No offense to my boomers out there, no offense to my older generations out there, but this is old head written all over it. I'm just being honest. This is old head written all over it. Only old heads and old people would attempt to try to sound like the younger generation. And y'all know what I'm talking about. When they try to mimic us, they tried right here. They try to make it seem like it was, oh, this 22-year-old. No, bro, we know when you were old head. We know. It's the same thing back then when like one of your friends' mama or daddy would have their phone and you like, bro, I know that. I know that's not you. I know I'm talking to somebody else that's not my friend. That's what I'm reading when I see these messages. No 22-year-old. I'm not even talking about him saying vehicle, because I know a lot of people I know a lot of people freaked out over the whole, like him saying vehicle and all that. You know, maybe somebody might say vehicle, but saying, you know, my love, I did it. Hey guys, I have bad news for y'all. It was me. I'm telling you right now, nobody in my generation would do something like that and then start telling everybody over text messages. Now, I'll be honest, I've seen some terrible, stupid criminals that are in my generation that I'm not affiliated with, but I've seen that people will do something and they'll get on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, and show like, oh, look what I just did. And they talking about it to somebody on Facebook Live. That's totally different. It's stupid, but that's more so that suits our generation. Our generation loves to be on live stream, ironically, right? Our generation loves to be on live stream and live time talking about something. We have so many different people that have been, you know, unfortunately lost their life on live stream, got robbed, and it went bad on live. So it would be more realistic if something like this happened on live. They could have put up a fake Tyler Robinson on, you know, I don't know, Twitch. And he slips up while playing the game. That makes more sense. But my generation and younger, we're not texting people and being like, yeah, guys, I did it. It was me. It was me that you see on the TV. I'm just not going for it. I'm really not. And so the biggest thing also in the Discord chat, his confession allegedly, is the timestamp. The timestamp was for 9/11 at 8:57 p.m. Now, this is all Barron, right? This is what Barron is saying, and it makes sense. I'm just relaying it, right? We're just talking about it. We're just chopping it up. This does make sense that they framed and put this message out there to make it seem like Tyler Robinson did this, because at 8:57, he technically hasn't turned himself in yet, according to the Fed slot. He didn't turn himself in until 9:30-ish. So planting this message at 8:57 was an attempt on the old heads to say he confessed to people, because, oh, he confessed at 8:57. They're trying to cover their trail. He confessed at 8:57. He turned himself in at 9:30. We got a guy. But they didn't think that we'd be here, you know, about to be 7 months later in 3 days. They didn't think we'd be here, where you have so many different podcasters and YouTubers and, you know, everybody that's on social media that has a platform that's talking about it. They didn't think it would get this far, that everybody's dissecting everything. And here we are. So if we know, going off of when Tyler Robinson was being Mirandized, which I think we all can agree that it was at 6:25 on 9/11, 6:25 p.m. On September 11th, then that would mean who confessed. I don't know why I'm pointing like that. I'm sorry. That would mean who confessed at 8:57 p.m. on Discord. Who did that? He's already in jail right now, talking to the cops. He's already being Mirandized. So who put that Discord confession out? It's getting crazy. And I know I continue to say it's getting crazy for almost everything that comes out about this case. And it is getting annoying. It is. You know, I told y'all I'd be completely honest about that, because I don't like the fact that we have so many things out there that prove that this case should just be tossed out and a real investigation should be launched. We have so many different things that, you know, are out there that prove and show that these people should be questioned. The sheriff that resigned, he should be questioned. He should be questioned on why he lied just now. Don't be mad at Barron for finding it. He's lying on social media. Like, we have, this is public record. This is for the public to see. This is public information. You told the world that you got to call at 8:02. But you didn't think that we could just go back and look at the digital footprint of you being on a stage at 8 p.m. So how did you get a call at 8:02? They didn't think that all of these things would trace. He should be questioned. Now, again, I'm not proving anybody's, I'm not accusing anybody of being guilty of anything, but they should be questioned. Same thing with Erica. She should be questioned. Same thing with Andrew Covet. He should be questioned. But when these people, when the feds, when the government, when they just turn the cheek, turn the other cheek and just don't mind any of this stuff, it's very concerning for me. It really is. And I'm going to also switch my position on, the defense team, because I also thought the defense team was very shady and weird. But clearly they know what's going on, and they might be a little shady, but that's because they are aware that there are bigger entities involved. And if they don't play ball, it might not end well for them. So I would no longer be critical of the defense team, because I think they're trying their best to show us, tell us that they know something's off, but they can't really say it. But it's a sick feeling to think about. You have Trump, who claims that he was a great friend, or Charlie was a great friend. You have all of these people. I'll be honest, if I was Erica Kirk, I would have known all of this information already. 7 months later, I would have known all of this. All it took is one or two things to make me question what actually happened to my significant other, and I would have been down rabbit holes week one. I would have already came up with different timelines and trying to piece together why this person lying, why is that person lying. And it seems like, well, we already know how she is and why she doesn't really care about what's going on. It's crazy. And I also have to update, not really an update, but I have to address it because somebody asked me about it the other night. I'm still digging into the security camera footage of Tyler Robinson in the Plaza parking lot 30 minutes after the Big Bang. I'm still doing some research to figure out if there's more details to that, because we're just trying to piece together and time up his whereabouts. We are lied to. We're lied to about this entire case, this entire thing that has happened. We're lied to about what happened to Charlie. We're lied to about Tyler Robinson. We're lied to about his whereabouts, about everything. And we don't have the help of the authorities. We don't have the help of the feds. So it's hard, especially for the people. I don't have a Daisy. I don't have a Candace's researchers and stuff like that. All I could do is just try my best to go down rabbit holes myself, vet things myself. Majority of the time, it's just going to be commentating and breaking down things that I've already heard for people that, I might explain it a bit easier and more simple than people that are, releasing the information. So that's kind of where my place comes in, is dissecting everything and maybe breaking it down in a more simple way. But I am down a rabbit hole right now because I saw footage. I have video out about a couple days ago of Tyler Robinson in the parking lot, allegedly in the Plaza parking lot, in about 20-25 minutes after the Big Bang. And to me, I don't think he was on that roof. I don't think he knew that he was going to go down as the patsy. I think somewhere between the school and when I saw him in that Plaza parking lot, because he drove around, he was looking for somebody. Then he parked, waited for about 30 seconds, and then a car pulls in behind him and then he drives off. I think in the middle of changing clothes, somewhere between there is when he met up with somebody. I don't know. It's weird, but I'm looking into it to see, where I can get, where does that end? Where does that lead? What does that lead to? Because that was on 9/10 as well. Him and being in that Plaza parking lot at 12:45. So we're gonna see. But Baron definitely killed it tonight. I cannot wait to watch the rest of the show because I did not finish it. And I do appreciate everybody else for tuning in and watching this video / episode. I don't even know really what to call it yet. It's growing though. Hopefully, again, I appreciate y'all if y'all liked the intro. I'm working, I'm grinding, trying to bring it all together, be in a new space in about a month to bring some more lighting. I tried to be a little extravagant. Well, not really extravagant. I tried to play around with my setup a little bit tonight. So like usually my monitor that I have right here is usually right in front of me, but I switched it up to try to make the camera a little bit better, but that was a fail because now I'm looking more down than I usually am looking up, and it's a little darker with shadows. So my setup tonight was a complete failure. I do apologize about that. But I do appreciate y'all, and I'm going to get to some of the questions and comments. Let's see. All right. Now I'm really turning my head looking way over here. This won't happen again. I'm sorry. And make sure you guys hit the like button. We are on the road to 20,000 subs. So make sure you hit the sub button if you're new. I appreciate all the support. I really do. Let's see. Hey, I do appreciate you, Mark. Yes. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Make sure you click that live on the way in. Yes. Definitely. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Let's see. Yeah, Baron stuff was wild, but might need more explaining or rewatching. I know this was very early in the show, so hopefully with the context I provided or with the explanations I provided, hopefully I broke it down a little bit better. I know a lot of people, talk about posting more Baron content on TikTok to break his stuff down, and I don't ever mind doing it. I've done it before. I think with Baron though, again, it's not really a full 3 hours of content. Sometimes it is, but the entire 3 hours of his episode is not like breaking news content. It's really like an hour of solid content. And then the last 2 hours is his super chats and stuff like that, similar to how we talking now. But sometimes in the super chats, he reveals like more things as well. So it's a hit or miss, but I've made some reactions to, or some commentating, videos, breakdowns to Baron, and I'll continue to try to do that if people do like it. if they feel like I explain it a little bit better or break it down. Now, I wouldn't say better. I don't want to offend Baron, but just break it down a little bit more easy or simple to everybody. I don't mind doing it. I appreciate it. I know what you're talking about too earlier in the show. So I do thank you very much. From Colorado, I appreciate you for joining. Everybody wearing high IQ outfits. I'm a champion type of guy. If y'all haven't really recognized that, I definitely wear champion all the time. So champion, if you ever need somebody, please holler at your boy. I am that person. I don't really see too many people wearing champion. It's always the big, Nike, Adidas, stuff like that. I'm champion head to toe pretty much every day. They got very comfortable things. That's why my baby blue hoodie is champion. And I go to Target. Target got a beautiful champion section. I'm there every payday. I'm at Target trying to get something new with champion. We hear more profanity from public figures these days. Trump's tweet was disgusting. I agree. I think at the end of the day, you still need to keep it professional, especially with your position, especially as the president. You just got to carry yourself better. You got people looking up to you. You're representing however many millions of people in this country. What are we at, like 300 million? You represent 300 million people. The last thing we want is the person that is supposed to be the leader talking crazy like that. So I do agree with you. And I am sorry again for completely looking in a 90-degree angle to read questions. I tried to mess with the setup. I tried. I made an effort. The problem is I was so locked into Baron's episode that I didn't even have time to come up here and really play with what I like, with the setup, with all of that. That's why I was 10 minutes late tonight. Baron had me tied up. So I'm gonna probably move everything back and this was just a complete fail. Kaylee, what's going on? The president doesn't think consequences apply to him or the U.S. Yeah, he definitely feels like he is above the law. And unfortunately, a lot of people kind of make it seem like it. I think one thing about the president that we all need to remember, which is funny, not like that, but is that they will allow the president to fall. They will allow Trump to fall because Trump is just a puppet. He is not as powerful as he thinks. That's why he has to do everything that certain people say, read in between the lines. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He's not as powerful as he thinks. So when he's on TV thinking he's big dog, thinking that he don't face any consequences, yeah, you will. You will when they want you to. But as long as you do what they say, you're going to be all right in their book. But the second you step out of line, they're going to let Trump fall. So if he keep on, then, we're going to see the fall of Trump again. Because then he get impeached in the first term. Oh, man. 1026. Appreciate you, Mark, for the super champion clothing coupons. I appreciate it, man. Definitely. I appreciate that coupon. Go give me another champion shirt. Tell you, I got to get on champion. I got the slippers. It's some hard bottom, warm slippers that I wear with champion. all the time. You can wear them outside because they hard bottoms, like they just like some outside shoes, but they slippers, so they're like fuzzy on the inside. Oh man, I got like 5 of them. I'm champion head to toe, man. I'm telling you, champion they need to know what's going on. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. They trick people with the presidential voting. What's important is local elections. Please vote locally. That is a fact. The presidential election is a scam. It is, I mean, I can say in my opinion if it makes anybody feel better, but it is 2 people who were handpicked by the elites. And that is who they feel like whoever wins, we win. Because the elites picked it between the 2. So they said, here are 2 puppets that we feel like meet the requirements to be our puppet. So let's put these 2 people in front of the U.S. population and make it seem like they picked, their person that's going to be in their best interest. When in reality, they both work for the same boss. It's a reason why you don't see the Democrats hitting the streets protesting about this war. Did anybody ever realize that? They was protesting about ICE. Oh my gosh, they protested about the No Kings. Did y'all not see that the other week? They was having a No Kings protest in the middle of the Iran war, and the streets was flooded. They won't do that for the war, though. They won't go hit the streets and protest no wars or no new wars, because that's what Trump campaigned on. This would be a perfect time for the Democrats to rise up and be against Donald Trump, but they won't, because they work for the same boss. They will be doing the same thing. But let ICE hurt somebody next week. Hopefully not, but if it happens, let ICE hurt somebody next week. They're going to be flooding the streets with signs all over the place. But yet Trump said, I'm about to go obliterate an entire country and wipe them off the face of the map. Silence. They work for the same boss. So yeah, don't be too caught up in the presidential election. There's just 2 people that were handpicked by the elites that are going to do whatever the elites say. But the local elections absolutely matter. You're right. I'm tired of hearing some 5D chess. Yeah, a lot of people would be saying that. It's a lot of pro-Trump, pro-Trumpies and stuff like that. Oh my gosh. Election integrity. I got flagged for it. Oh man, these people are funny. But yeah, I'm tired of hearing people say, Trump is playing chess. And no, you just don't know the tricks he has up his sleeve. No, it's not tricks. You can't say, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to bomb your entire country. And then they end up saying, okay, well, don't do that. Let's talk. It's not chess. What are we talking about? Then on top of that, Trump threatened these people about 4 times. And he said, y'all got 48 hours to open up the Strait of Hormuz. If you don't, I'm going to bomb the whole place. He said that weeks ago. I made a video about it. And then literally 48 hours came. They been said, we not opening nothing. 48 hours came. He said, oh, we had great conversations with Iran, and we have a deal, a negotiation deal of like a week or something like that. And then Iran literally was like, bro, we never talked to you. Now, it's not funny because this is a maniac as the president. However, it's funny just because of the thought of him coming up with imaginary deals in his head to make himself not look bad. Because who wants to go on the internet after saying, I'll blow up the whole place if you don't let me through? And they say, well, do it. Blow up the whole place. Because if you do, here's what we going to do. And then he going to come out and say, I'll give you 48 hours. They said, we'll make it 5. Let's do it. And he say, you know what? I'll give you a week. They calling out his bluff. So like, it's only funny because Trump doesn't even realize how embarrassing it is to watch it happen on social media. Almost at 20K. Yes, almost at 20K. I think it's like 19 something. I don't even know. But please hit the sub button if you are new. We are almost at 20,000 subs. Definitely appreciate it for sure. Finally made it. Thank you, Kelly, for joining. Thank you for joining the live. I appreciate everybody that, again, jumps from platform to platform to support. Look up Salem Media. I did hear about that. I got to spend some more time on the videos that I've seen about Salem Media, but I did see the connections with, everything that was going on around Salem Media. But I didn't see too much to form an opinion yet. I got to look up some more. Because Iran was right. They have never been the aggressor since our country's start, but that other country has been the aggressor since its very start. Absolutely. They'll try to gaslight us and say otherwise, but you're right. I think I seen somebody tweet from that side, the Iranian side today, saying like, bro, we can't even do anything to y'all. So how is we an imminent threat to y'all when we literally can't do anything to y'all? Now, they do have certain, they can attack our bases that are over there and stuff like that. But, it's just crazy. I don't know if y'all been listening to Joe Kent, but ever since Joe Kent resigned, he is somebody that, I enjoy listening to him because you can tell that man is qualified. Listen, I know I said before that as the president, there's probably so many different things you have to understand, but Joe Kent seems like he understands a lot of it. He does. And to me, it when it comes to negotiating, when it comes to our men and women in uniform, Joe Kent knows what he's talking about. There might be some other things that might be over Joe Kent's head, but when it comes to war, nah, bro, Joe Kent know what he's talking about. And you got people like Trump that's disrespecting Joe Kent. If you think about it, the aim of Trump's tweet is to steal the glory of the resurrection. Instead of discussing the savior, we're discussing the president. That's crazy. That's crazy. And on top of that, did y'all see the weird kind of idea of how they saved the pilot? The pilot, they was making it seem like, oh, he vanished on Friday and 3 days or like Thursday, and 3 days later we found him. Like, what does that remind you of? 3 days later, he rose. It's kind of weird. Trump is I don't know. Trump is making a lot of people upset. Let's see. My husband said perhaps that was his big goal, was to show the blue and white country is the swamp. I was annoyed by still, but you're conservative. What do you think? Let me see again. My husband said perhaps that was his big goal was to show the blue and white country is the swamp. I was annoyed by it, still am a conservative. What do you think? I think that as long as we continue to provide military support to that blue and white country on the defense and offense, I don't think Trump is trying to do anything when it comes to them. I don't think he's trying to separate from them at all, because separating from them is telling the entire world, because that's what's going to have to happen. He's never going to do it. He would never come out and say that blue and white country does not get my support. Because if he did that, oh my gosh, I'm not trying to fearmonger anybody. I'm just speaking from my mind here. If Trump ever came out and denounced them, we will have a war on our soil. It will come over here. That blue and white country has never, ever, ever talked about how much they love us and protect us and how much we mean to them. They've never done that. If he denounces them and says we're done because y'all have dragged us into the craziest things ever and you're ruining our reputation, it is over. There's going to be a huge conflict. You know, I some things I can't even say on here because the blue and white country controls our media. So I can't really say too much, but you got to remember Trump, in my opinion, is being, blackmailed. I think the people that are in power have affiliations with the blue and white country. So cutting ties with them or trying to point them out to Iran, saying, hey, those are the bad guys, not us. I don't think Trump would ever do that. He should, but he won't. Because if the blue and white country violates the ceasefire, which, according to some things that I've seen, they already did, Trump is going to end up violating his own ceasefire and going to their defense. And he's going to say, I had to. Iran was an imminent threat. They targeted our strongest ally. And we had to hit back. That's what he's going to say. When in reality, if Iran chooses to let all hell, if all hell breaks loose on the blue and white country and Iran chose to do that tonight, that has nothing to do with our ceasefire. I'm not going to say that has nothing to do with us because, again, we're allies, right? We shouldn't be, but we are. But at the moment, that has nothing to do with our ceasefire. But if Iran chose to hit the blue and white country tonight, America is stepping in. Trump's going to violate the ceasefire. And even though Iran is like, bro, we cool with y'all. It's just them. They the ones that keep coming at us. Trump don't care about that. America don't care about that. Trump's going to step in and handle all of their work. So, I don't think we should be allies with them. I think they've been very detrimental. We just did a show the other night, 2 nights ago, exposing different things that the blue and white country has purposefully put in the American media and to attack us personally, to our heart, to attack our religion. We talked about it the other night. So that blue and white country does not like us. I'll say this. For us to be allies, they for sure as hell don't make it seem like we are. Because we give them $15 billion a year. Billion. Just for them to turn around and call us racist every single day. You think Iran is going to do that? I mean, they can't reach us. They can't without us detecting it from hundreds of miles away. I mean, they got to cross the water. Like we're good. We would know it's coming. The problem is we have different U.S. bases overseas, which whatever. But if they choose to hit the blue and white country, then again, it's going to come down to us restricting, our resources to them. It's going to come down to Trump saying, listen, bro, I'll provide you with maybe defense, but I'm not providing you with offense. You know, I'll limit the money I send over to you. Something. You know, Joe Kent talks about that all the time, is restraining the blue and white country. He broke that a couple of weeks ago, saying that when the blue and white country hears who we're negotiating with, so I think JD Vance has been like a heavy negotiator. When the blue and white country hears the names of who we negotiate with, they go out there to kill them. Do you understand how weird and crazy and sick that is? That the blue and white country purposefully goes out to eliminate the people that we're negotiating with. That way we never have peace. That way we never have a negotiation. That way it's war forever. That's what they want. They've made it clear. This is not, I mean, you know, like whether they ban me, suspend me, whatever. The prime minister has already came out multiple times and disregarded everything Trump has said. Trump has said, you know, we want peace. Trump has said something about ceasefire. He will come out and say, we still finna bomb every day. They not on the same time and we are. That's why we have to distance ourselves from them. Distance ourselves from them. They don't want what we want. That's the conflict of interest. My husband is a diehard Republican, and he's turned his nose up completely, but he's still playing devil's advocate. Yeah, I mean, and it's challenging. You know, there are a lot of people that are giving Trump the benefit of the doubt, saying that maybe he has a plan and all of that. It's just tough. It's tough. I'm assuming the people that are trying to play devil's advocate and are trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, I'm sure it's becoming, you know, harder and harder to defend him. It has to be. I think a lot of us want to hold hope, but honestly, BB has his claws in too deep. He does. He does. You know, that's why I say at the moment, I don't really see anything happening as far as a change on the relationship between us and them. That is something Charlie Kirk spoke on. Charlie Kirk spoke, he was very vocal on rethinking our relationship with the blue and white country. And I believe he has been right about everything so far with this Iran war. Everything. How can I be a DT when domestic means home? That's not my homeland. Therefore, I cannot be DT unless we should on America. I don't know. I know American get it right. Yeah. Wait, what is a DT? I gotta understand the DT part before I can even form an opinion. How can I be a DT? You might gotta help me out. It's midnight. Okay, it's midnight. After about 11:30, I get a little loopy. Loomer ran for the House in 2020, winning a Republican primary, but losing the general election that year to Democrat Lois Frankel, whichever one it is, for a Palm Beach area seat that includes Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. Loomer needs to stay far away from anything that involves decision-making, people, all of that. That woman needs to be in a psych ward. That woman is crazy. I put a video of Loomer on your X post. Okay, I'll go check it out. Barron was in his element. I bet they wish Barron didn't quit his day job. That is a fact. I'm telling you. Barron is for sure their worst nightmare. They didn't account for Candace. They didn't account for Candace at all. But they started personally attacking Candace. They have no words for Barron. They can't find any words for Barron. He's the one with the shaky voice. What kind of sheriff would be nervous? Right. I don't know why he would be nervous. Very, very weird. 1109. I put Iran in quotes as in you know it. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Thank you for the dono. Yo, this is a fact. This is a fact. Oh, stop. Hold on. That is a fact. When Barron laughs the way he was laughing tonight, it's like, yeah, you're cooked. You are cooked. Tyler's case is going to be dismissed. It should. The problem is, I've been saying for a few months now that I don't think Tyler Roberts is going to make it to trial. I don't think he's going to make it to trial, or he's going to take a quick plea that just doesn't make sense to anybody, because everybody's going to be like, dude, you have literally the entire world and all the evidence in the world to exonerate you from at least pulling the trigger. Again, I'm never going to say Tyler Robinson was completely innocent. That man was up to something, but he didn't pull that trigger. I don't think he knew what was going to go down that day, as far as like how he was what role he had to play. So I'm not saying he's innocent, but he definitely didn't pull that trigger to go down for an M1 charge and capital M death penalty. Nah, no, he didn't do that. So it should be dismissed based on what they're charging him, on. But I think that he either won't make it to trial because these people, the feds, I don't see these people coming out and admitting they're wrong. I really don't. I'm not trying to be that guy. Again, I'm never somebody that attempts to fearmonger or any of that. But I just don't see the feds coming out admitting they're wrong. And, oh, you got me? We were trying to be sneaky? No, I don't see that happening, which is very scary if you really think about it from the perspective or viewpoint of where Tyler Robinson is at. Because I don't think they're going to admit they're wrong. I don't think TPUSA is going to come out and tell everybody that we were right. The tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists, all the crazy people, Candace, the crazy lady. I don't see those people coming out and saying, dang, man, y'all was right. Asking questions did get y'all somewhere. I don't see it. I think it's a reason why these people slip up so much online. It's a reason why Andrew Covett leaves crumbs everywhere. He's not worried about it. Any guilty person would be so worried from leaving different clues everywhere to prove you're guilty of something or to prove you should be questioned. A guilty person would be paranoid. A normal guilty person would be paranoid. They probably, if you want to be completely honest, they probably would never even talk about the Charlie Kirk investigation. That's how nervous you should be. But these people know that they're protected. They know they're protected. However, when it comes to big fish, little fish, Turning Point USA, they're all small fish. They're all little fish. So that's why we got to stay on their neck, because the big fish will let them fall in order to cover themselves. So Erica Kirk, she ain't no big fish. She got a lot of pull right now. She'll get you shut down on TikTok. Oh my gosh, she got my main account. It's over with. I'm gonna keep pushing, but she got my main account wrapped up. So she got a lot of pull. But when it comes to this investigation right here, if we stay on her and stay on Turning Point USA and the small fish, the big fish will not allow anybody to get close to them. So they're gonna let Erica fall one day. They might say, hey, we can't allow you to be the CEO anymore because we are not getting good feedback whatsoever. So how about you just step away and just go hide in like Turks and Caicos, never come back, because you got $100 million, so you don't have to work anymore for the rest of your life. So how about you just go to Turks and Caicos with your kids, never come back, because this ain't gonna work. That might happen. So I think we need to stay on the small fish as much as we can, because that puts more pressure on the big fish. And then things like today will happen where the big fish get exposed. And now we have to check X and check their responses to see everybody backpedaling. So it'll be really interesting. My daddy always said, anybody who lied to you think you're stupid enough to believe this lie. For real. One would think the people that did this would have been way smarter about the details. We have eyes and brains. I told y'all the problem is that these people that tried to plant Tyler Robinson in this case are boomers. They're boomers. They're old heads. They didn't really understand the game plan. They didn't understand, wait a second, it's 2025 at the time. We have to make it seem like a 22-year-old committed this crime. How are we going to do that? They got close by doing something in Discord. They got close. The younger generation, we use Discord, Reddit. I personally have never gotten into Discord, but Discord, Reddit, Twitch, he was on Fortnite and somebody happened to be playing with a username Tyler Robinson 465. I don't know why I said 465 like that. 465. And then he slipped up and said something on the game. And somebody recorded it. It's just they didn't think it all the way through. That is 2025, and we have to make it seem like a Gen Zer committed this crime. How are we going to do that? What they did is not it. Nobody's going to text anybody and say, my love, I did it. My love, I'm sorry. I just had to eliminate Charlie Kirk. And she's like, why? I said she, Lance wanted to be a girl, but now all of a sudden he's like hardcore boy now. But Lance is like, why did you do it? My love, I was just so over the Charlie Kirk, the way he spoke on the gay community. I was just so over it, the trans community. I had to eliminate him with my assault rifle. It's just, it was a boomer. It was a boomer. There's a reason artists sign their names at the bottom of their work. Everything that you do will always lead back to you, including lies. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, I was shocked by the defense team, including that time. However, I feel like I believe Tyler will be unalive before we get to the actual trial. I unfortunately agree. Hey, Jay, that periwinkle blue looks good. It complements your skin tone and the background. I appreciate it. I really do. Again, new background, new setup coming real soon. Give it about another month. Moving into the new place. And I'm gonna move my old setup back. I can't stand this shadow right here. I don't like completely turning my head to look at this monitor. I did win one time today though. I got my new intro in, and I scheduled the live stream. I forgot who told me about scheduling the live stream, because I don't know why I had no idea I could do that when I literally look at Candace do it and Baron do it every day. Or definitely Candace. I don't know. But I'm winning in some areas, just not with my setup yet. I'm not liking this right now. He'd have literally everybody's support, though. He'd actually have people signing up for the draft if it was to defeat them. Yeah, I mean, if it ever came down to it, and we truly were in trouble, and it came down to us versus them, yeah, people would have his back. You know, that's what made it. It was kind of. It sucked to see how the media portrayed the Iranian people today. When they were all lined up with their hands, holding hands, and they got their hands up. And the media literally was like, look at them, just using them as human shields. Look at these sick terrorists. I'm like, dude, they're literally just defending their country. They were just told that it was going to be completely blown up by 8 p.m. Imagine as a mother, imagine as a father, and you get, you're told that you're going to be completely wiped off the earth by 8 p.m. And let's not do the whole, because people always try to do that. Like, oh, y'all want to speak up for the people in Gaza and the Palestinians. Y'all want to speak up for them. And all. It's not really that. It's speaking up for life. I'm pro-life. So imagine as a father, you get the news that this other country said that this that's fully capable of doing it is going to completely wipe off your entire existence by 8 p.m. I would be outside too, doing what I can to make sure that doesn't happen. My little low body probably won't stop a bomb, but if folks said, hey man, let's this country said they're gonna hit the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, and somehow I lived out there, then yeah, we might need to go out there just to say, hey man, like, we're people too. So what I seen today from the Iranian people, I'm like, bro, these people are just out there just defending their country, saying, bro, please don't blow up this power plant. This is our only source of power. You do this, you kill us. That's how I saw it. But our news media, they said it was a terrible thing. They're using them as human shields. It's crazy. Oh, yes. Got you. Oh, yeah. Okay. I see it now. I was a little behind. I'm sorry. Hello. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And no problem at all. It's no problem at all on being late. I'm trying my best to make these shows slash videos consistent. I'm working on it. So far I got 2 in, and it's only Tuesday. If we count Sunday, we was on Sunday, we was on today. So that's progress compared to last week. And I think I'm gonna stay at it. I definitely want to stay at it as well because of the crazy change that's coming with this new baby in July. So I definitely want to stay at it because I know when that comes, I gotta, get familiar with the new schedule and stuff. So I'm gonna do my best. Right now we're at 2 shows so far, and it's only Tuesday, and I feel like tomorrow I go hoop. I got some cardio tomorrow night, and then what is that? Thursday, it'll definitely be another one. It'll be another one before the weekend for sure. So hopefully we can get 3 or 4 in. If the goal is probably 3 or 4 a week, if I can get to 3 this week, that's amazing. The goal is going to be 4 though. So not tomorrow night, but maybe Thursday or Friday. I'll continue to try to put the schedule lives on YouTube, so that way, everybody can know ahead of time. I don't know why I didn't do that before. I'm sorry. I used to get on here just so randomly and expecting everybody to know. I completely apologize. Now I know how to schedule. Shout out to the Blindly Gab for giving me. Okay, so shoot, you remember. Blindly Gab gave me the tip. Yes, definitely. That was clutch. I was like, bro, I didn't even think of that. That helped me out so much today. YouTube is recommending you. I hope you stay strong. That's dope. I'm glad that I'm finally able to hit the algorithm and continue to grow. And I do appreciate it. I appreciate y'all for supporting this brand new channel. I'm going to continue to do my best to reinvest everything and upgrade things when I can. So I worked on my intro today for like an hour. So hopefully that was worth it. Felt like it was. And then, yes, again, I'm going to definitely continue to fix this setup to where it's perfect. I might play around with it a lot more, but I'm going to keep on working at it. And then eventually when this man cave comes in a month and a half, and I am very excited about it. I haven't had a man cave in years. So having my own room where I can just put up what I want, and I can probably have on more lights than just this light right here, and backgrounds that I want and stuff like that. Camera setups where I want. I can't wait. So the countdown begins. Move in about a month and a couple of days. So I'm definitely excited about that. But I think I went through all the comments. That was fun. That was definitely fun. I appreciate y'all for joining. I appreciate y'all for hanging in there for the 2 hours of the show. And again, if you are new to the channel, please hit the sub button. We are on the road to 20K. We're almost there. And make sure everybody hits the like button as well. But I appreciate y'all for joining, and I hope you have a great night, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next one.